Hello everyone, I'm Lolita Yang, and this is my partner, Kingley Jin.
Hello.
Welcome to our presentation today. ZMUni Compliance Center is a professional consultancy providing global product compliance and quality management services. Founded in 2018, the company is headquartered in Hangzhou, Zhejiang. Our primary area of expertise lies in the fields of cosmetics and food. We have 6 years of a strong foothold in the regulated industry. We are leading cosmetic compliance service provider in China. We have more than 1,000 global customers and growing. ISO 9001 and other intellectual property certified. I'm Senior Compliance Consultant of ZMUni, and my partner Kim Jin, she is a regulatory analyst. Today's presentation will cover 5 key parts to help you understand the status and strengths of NCI in China, as well as tips for the application. 1. Background. Get ready for China's NCI regulatory region. 2. China to accept animal alternative test data under specific conditions. 3. Understanding the application under Situation 3 and Situation 5, NCI with history of safety use. 4. Understanding the application under Situation 6, NCI of Polymers. 5. Points to note for NCI application in China. Background. Get ready for China's NCI regulatory region. From January 1, 2021, CSAR has been implemented. Up to now, 176 NCI have been successfully viewed and published. There are currently 8,765 ingredients included in the ICIC 2021. China's cosmetic products market has risen to more than 797 billion in 2023. So it is a good opportunity to enter your new cosmetic ingredients to China's market based on the stable policies and the market opportunities for innovative raw materials. China to accept animal alternative test data under specific conditions. Okay, let's see China animal alternative timeline. For general cosmetics made in China, from June 30, 2014, risk assessment report which can fully confirm the safety of the product. Relevant toxicological tests of the products may be exempted. On 2016, China's animal alternative methods firstly included in STSC 2015 3T3 NRU test for skin phototoxicity. From January 1, 2021, CSAR has been implemented, and more alternative test methods including STSC. Generic cosmetic and NCI notification can use animal alternatives under certain conditions. Registration for notification of NCI. China divided the NCI to high risk, middle risk, and low risk. High-risk NCI are subject to registration, which require review and approval, which include NCI with functions of preventing sunscreens, currants, hair dyes, and wrinkle fading and whitening. Medium risk NCI are subject to notification. The notification process is completed immediately after submission, which include the NCI with functions of anti-hair loss, anti-acne, anti-wrinkle, except physical anti-wrinkle, anti-dandruff, and deodorant. Low-risk NCI are subject to notification. The notification process is completed immediately after submission. Other than high and medium risk NCI, which include the NCI with functions of skin protection, moisturization, antioxidant, cleansing, emulsion, stabilizing, exfoliating, film bombing, hair condition, humectant, performing, etc. On May 1st, 2021, NMPA issued provisions for the regulation and notification of NCI, clarified NCI into the following 6 situations. So, how to determine NCI application situation for notification or registration? Step 1. If the NCI is polymers, chemically synthesized oligomers of one or more structural units connected by covalent bonds with an average relative molecular mass greater than 1,000 Daltons and a relevant molecular mass less than 1,000 Daltons. Polymers with stable structure and properties, except for with high biological activity, we can determine that this NCI belongs to situation 6. Step 2. If it is with a history of safe consumption, we can determine that the NCI belongs to situation 5. Step 3. If it is with history of safety more than 3 years in marketed cosmetics, and also with high or medium risk functions, we conclude to situation 4. Step 4. If the NCI do not fall under any of the above situations and with low risk functions, we conclude to situation 2. Step 5. If the NCI do not fall under any of the above situations, oligopeptides, polypeptides, or protein with high biological activities and with high or medium risk functions, we conclude to situation 1. Some toxicity tests could be waived and alternative methods are conditionally accepted depending on situations. Now let's examine the toxicity tests required for NCI notification and registration. As outlined in the table, the following toxicity tests are required for each type of situation based on our experience. When the NCI falls in situation 3 with existing accurate toxicity data and without UV absorption, or situation 5 without UV absorption, or situation 6 with or without UV absorption, animal toxicity test can be weighed. Then the alternative test methods are used to evaluate the NCI safety. How long does the notification or registration procedure take? Currently, there are no instances of Situation 1 or Situation 4, which involve high or medium risk functions that have been registered or filed with the NMPA. Therefore, the duration of this process remains to be determined. Situation 3, Situation 5, Situation 6 each require an approximate duration of 6 months. Situation 2 necessitates roughly 10 months. Here are 2 examples of success notification for Situation 5, a plant extract, and Situation 6, a polymer, for your reference. For animal alternative methods utilized in the NCI notification process, the general requirement is integrated approaches to testing the assessment, which are based on the structural features of NCI and the specific technological endpoints. The methods can be encompassed by STSC methods or recognized by international authorities on alternative method validation. Typically, we initially select the STSC methods. If we opt for the international authority methods, this necessitates supplementary data, such as a concise overview of the research process for the alternative method, along with the research data, result analysis, and the conclusions derived from the studies involving more than 10 known substances. Animal alternatives for skin irritation or corrosion tests in China. This method is not included in the STSC methods. Therefore, we adopt the OECD method, which generally recommends the first test, the in vitro skin irritation, reconstructed human epidermis test method. For eye irritation or corrosion tests, STSC currently includes these 2 animal alternative methods, and generally choose the first one, STE. On January 8, 2024, NIFDC issued technical guidelines for the application of skin sanitation, integration testing, and evaluation stages. 2 out of 3 defined approach. This is also good news for the application of animal alternative methods in the NCI notification process. When exploring alternatives to animal testing for assessing skin sensitization, according to this guideline, we can employ the 2 out of 3 defined approach in the key event 1 to key event 3, or only choose one of key event 4. Genotoxicity test requires at least 1 gene mutant and 1 chromosomal mutant test. These 2 test methods are frequently adopted And of course, the STSC's other methods are viable options as well. Since there is no alternative methods for the skin photologic test, we discuss the skin phototoxicity test. First, perform the UV absorption test. The recommended method is OECD 101 if the molar absorption sufficient less than or equal to 1000 liter per mole per centimeter, then phototoxic testing is waived. If the MEC exceeds 1000, then it is necessary to perform a reactive oxygen species AC to evaluate photoreactivity. If the test result is negative, phototoxicity testing can be waived. However, if the result is positive, phototoxicity testing remains necessary. Additionally, you may continue to opt for alternative methods, such as the 3T3 NRU assay. For phototoxicity evaluation, both ROS and 3T3 are encompassed within STSC. Okay, part 3, understanding the application under situation 3 and the situation 5, NCI with history of safety use. NCI notification process of situation 3. Step 1, prepare a history of safety use data and determine the situation. Step 2, conduct toxicity, efficacy, and stability tests. Step 3, assemble the dossiers required for the notification process. Step 4, submit the notification. Step 5, initiate publicity efforts. Step 6, implement a 3-year monitoring period. Requirements for NCI notification situation 3 using animal alternatives. A. The NCI should have a 3-year safe use history in cosmetic products marketed outside China. B. It does not have high or medium risk functions. Preservatives, sunscreen, coloring, hair dyeing, wrinkle removal or whitening, anti-hair loss, anti-acne, wrinkle removal except for physical coloring, anti-dandruff, and deodorant. C. It should have existing safety conclusion from an international authoritative safety evaluation agency, SCCS, CIR, etc. D. It has no UV absorption. Since we have discussed this previously, if a substance has UV absorption or the ROS is positive, a skin photo array test is mandatory for situation 3 NCI. However, there is no alternative method available for this. Here is an example of accurate toxicity data from the international authority, the SCCS. Furthermore, how to research and determine the 3-year history of safe use. On May 30th, 2024, NIFDC has developed guidelines for the research and the determination of the history of the safe use of NCI draft, and explained the 3-year history of safe use. Documentation of the 3-year history of safe use for NCI notification situation 3. We are able to submit 4 documents to demonstrate that the NCI falls under situation 3. Let's take a look at specific details from 4 documents. Document 1. To verify that the detailed information of the NCI matches that of marketed cosmetics, it is essential to ensure that the NCI name, composing, specification, production, process remain identical. Document number 2. The marketed cosmetic should comply with the cosmetic definition in CSAR, and the products must have been on the market for at least 3 years, with significant and continuous sales volume. According to China's CSAR, any daily chemical products intended to be applied on human skin, hair dye, nails, lips, mouth, etc., by spreading, spraying, or other similar ways for cleansing, protecting, beautifying, or grooming purposes are considered cosmetics. For instance, should the NCI be utilized in pharmaceutical products outside of China, it cannot be categorized as situation 3. The functions must remain identical as well if it is utilized as a sunscreen agent within the history safety use. Thereby, its application cannot only choose a humectant in NCI notifications or regulations. The cosmetic products must be marketed for a period exceeding 3 years, during which at least one product contains NCI has been sold on a continuous basis. Document number 3. The sales quantity of marketed cosmetics. For situation 3, you have the options to choose either sales volume or production volume as the underlying data. For sales volume, the cumulative sales volume of marketed cosmetic products over 3 years should not be less than 10,000 pieces, with annual sales not falling below 3,000 pieces. Or for production volume, the cumulative production volume of marketed cosmetic products over 3 years should not be less than 100,000 pieces, with annual production volume not falling below 30,000 pieces. This table is the template to fill in the sales quantity of marketed cosmetics, and the applicant should sign on it. Document number 4. Monitoring of adverse reactions of marketed cosmetics, including 1. Signals and the methods for the collecting adverse reacting events of cosmetics contains these ingredients. 2. Records of adverse reactions from consumers using cosmetics. This table is the template to fill in the monitoring of adverse reactions of marketed cosmetics, and the applicant should sign on it. Okay, now let's have a detailed understanding of situation 5 and the requirements for using animal alternatives. Here is Situation 5 NCI notification process, same as Situation 3. The following aspects must be met in Situation 5 using animal alternatives. A. With a history of safety consumption, and the parts used in the ingredients should be consistent with the parts used for food ingredients. B. No UV absorption. Let's talk about how to research and determine the history of safe consumption. On May 31, 2024, NIFDC also developed guidelines for the research and the determination of the history of safe consumption of NCI drugs. Documentation of the history of safe consumption for NCI notification Situation 5. We are able to submit 3 documents to demonstrate that the NCI falls under Situation 5. Let's take a look at the specific details for 3 documents. Document 1. Historical evidence document of safe consumption. The document should originate from authoritative entities capable of food safety assessments, including food, agricultural, or health regulatory agency. The authoritative entities should be at the principal level and above in China. Foreign authoritative entities should be at least at the national level. The document type can be announcements, notices, or technical standards. Document number 2. To explain, the NCI is identical to that in the evidence document of safe consumption to demonstrate the consistency of the source, manufacturing process, composition, and the specifications. Document number 3. Statement documents for food consumption and the restrictions. For the health food ingredients, the document evidence must detail consumption methods, purpose, limits, suitable populations, and pressures. For the food additives, the ingredients with usage restrictions, safety analysis, and comprehensive toxicity studies are necessary for high-risk ingredients. Especially for the high-risk ingredients, comprehensive research should be conducted on the toxicity information. Here is an example of Situation 5, NCI notification, where the substance is simply referred to as PQQ. We can search for evidence of its food consumption, referring to the announcements issued by China's Food Authority, namely the National Health Commission, when the requirements are met as discussed in the previous slides. Then the substance can be classified as Situation 5 in the notification process. The foreign evidence document can also be used. Let's take uracil A as an example. The United States Food and Drug Administration has granted approval as a substance generally recognized as safe for us, and the status is FDA has no questions. Also, when the requirements are met as discussed in the previous slides, then the substance can be classified as situation 5 in the notification process. Okay, the content is a little complicated. Please take it easy. If you have any questions, please feel free to connect me through WeChat, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or email. Then let's move to the next part and welcome my partner, Kimberly Jin.
So, hello everyone, this is Kimberly, and in this part, I will share some key points while applying for NCI of polymers. Before the regulatory section, I'd like to show you some polymer market trends first. So polymers are consistently used in countless personal care and cosmetic products. Polymer ingredients in personal care market size is forecasted to grow at a CAGR of 3.8% during 2021 to 2026, and skincare dominates the polymer ingredients in personal care market, growing at a CAGR of 8.7%. And polymers has led to better performance for many skincare products, such like water resistance or sweat-proof characteristics and other long-lasting properties. Geographically, Asia-Pacific region held the largest share in the polymer ingredients in personal care market in 2020, up to 43%, followed by North America and Europe. The demand in countries such as China, South Korea, India is rapidly increasing, resulting in the higher growth potential for Asia-Pacific region. So China signifies one of the greatest dynamic and vigorous personal care market in the world. Oh, sorry for the mistake. So here, Asian Pacific region had the largest share in polymer ingredients. I wrote the wrong sentence. It should not be the third largest, but the largest. Okay. Next part. As a compliance service provider, ZMUni continuously tracks the statistics of completed NCI application. According to the data, 176 NCI have been successfully notified so far. Among these, chemical-based NCI constitute the majority, with polymers being the predominant type within this category. And currently, 40 polymers have completed notification, representing nearly 22% of all the notified NCI. And in these slides, I've displayed all the notified polymers NCI organized by the year. These tables include NCI's Chinese name, INCI name, applicants, and the countries of origin. 16 polymer notifications were successfully completed in 2022 and 2023, respectively. And as of 2024, 8 polymer NCI have already completed their notifications. Now, looking at the regions of polymer NCI applicants, 26% are based in China, while the remaining 74% are foreign enterprises. Among these, the United States leads with a significant share of 43%. Other major countries include Italy, Germany, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, and Canada. And for foreign companies, many choose to apply through their subsidiaries in China. For instance, Dow Chemicals from the United States have completed 5 polymer NCI notifications through its subsidiary in Zhangjiagang, Jiangsu province. Similarly, Croda from the UK also has a subsidiary in China. Okay, now let's, from the perspective of functions, film formers are the most commonly reported function for polymer. Polymer film formers are often used as primary active ingredients in hair styling products and can also enhance the water resistance, oil resistance, adherence of skincare, sunscreen, and makeup products. And other primary uses of polymers NCI include hair conditioning agents, humectants, thickener, and so on. Oh, by the way, starting from December 2023, NCI that enter the publicity space will no longer have their associated technical requirements disclosed. So the function data I presented here is only up to December 2023. Okay, let's move on to next page. According to the regulation on the management of registration and the notification dossiers for new cosmetic ingredients, the function basis for NCI refers to the information that demonstrates the ingredient's effectiveness in line with its intended use. This generally includes scientific literature, regulatory documents, laboratory research data, human efficacy evaluation test data. So for polymer NCIs, the first 3 types of functional basis for polymers is typically relies on the first 3 types, yes. And as of regulatory documents, it usually includes national standards and official publications and authoritative works issued by domestic and international authorities. And the next, for applicants preparing documentation on the function of NCI, it is necessary to provide corresponding test reports and the relevant literature to substantiate the claimed functions. So to make it better for your understanding, let's take emulsifying agent as an example. When a polymer NCI selects emulsifying agents as its intended function, the applicant can refer to the Chinese national standard surface active agents determination of emulsifying power colorimetric method. For relevant emulsification performance tests, this standard provides a method for testing emulsifying power, and the resulting laboratory data can be used as evidence to support the emulsifier function of the polymer NCI. Also, similar approaches can be applied when preparing other functions. Next, let's review some important considerations for applying polymer NCI. Before the applicant submitting an application, it's crucial to first determine whether it meets the definition of polymer or the definition of NCI on the situation 6. According to the regulation on the management of registration and notification dossiers for new cosmetic ingredients, polymers under Situation 6 are defined as follows. Firstly, chemically synthesized substance composed of one or more structure units linked by covalent bonds with an average relative molecular weight greater than 1,000 daltons, and the content of oligomers with a molecular weight below 1,000 daltons should be less than 10%. Also, the polymer must have a stable structure and properties, excluding ingredients with high biological activity. And to make it better for your understanding, let's use some examples. So here is the first example, polylactic acid, also known as PLA. We can find its technical requirements on the NMPA's official publicity website, and the basic information about this NCI and its preparation process both meet the requirements outlined for Situation 6. And although the publicly disclosed information didn't include details on point 4 and point 6, reviewing related documents confirms that PLA meets these criteria as well. And then next is about polypeptide. In recent years, peptide-based NCI have become a popular choice for registers or notifier in China. People may wonder whether polypeptides can also be applied for NCI under Situation 6. So the answer is definitely no. Polypeptide is an amino acid polymer which has both the characteristics of synthesized polymers and biopolymers. In other words, if a certain polypeptide meets all the first 6 conditions mentioned above, the biological activity of polypeptide is relatively high, which is clearly out of Situation 6. And next, let's talk about the testing requirements for polymer NCI. At the very beginning, it's necessary to make structure validation for polymers from the following 3 aspects listed here. And each segment requires relevant tests. For part 3, attention should be paid to the byproducts, starting materials and the solvents produced during the reaction, as well as the controlling monomer. Okay, after briefly reviewing the structure tests of polymer, let's focus on the toxicological testing requirements. According to technical guidelines for cosmetic safety assessment published in 2021, polymers are micromolecular compounds. That is to say, polymers do not need to carry out dermal absorption, systemic toxicity, and skin sensitization. And so what toxicological tests are required for polymer exactly? Let's check the 3 tests listed here. Eye irritation or corrosion test, skin irritation and corrosion test. And the last one is is skin phototoxicity test. We should pay attention that this test is only required for NCI with UV absorption properties. And okay, next part. As we mentioned before, polymers do not require thermal absorption testing. So how can that be proved? Actually, on March 21st, 2024, the Chinese NMPA issued a notice incorporating 19 revised and newly formulated projects into the Cosmetic Safety Technical Specification 2015 edition, which includes the in vivo human thermal absorption test method. While for applicants seeking alternatives to animal testing, the in vitro skin absorption test method outlined in the Chinese national standard testing method for skin absorption in vitro can be considered for conducting thermal absorption studies. This method is a non-animal testing alternative. Now let's figure out the safety assessment of cosmetic ingredients together. The technical guidelines for cosmetic safety assessment clearly outlines that the risk assessment procedure for cosmetic ingredients and hazardous substance involves 4 steps. So take PLA as an example. The first step is to determine which toxicological tests are necessary. And since PLA is classified under Situation 6 as a stable polymer with defined structure and properties, thermal absorption testing is not required. And instead, the focus should be on evaluating local toxicity based on the intended use and application of the product. And when conducting a toxicological assessment, it is essential to tailor the analysis to the specific use situation of the cosmetic product. For instance, if the product intended use excludes aerosol applications, then inhalation toxicity is not a concern and does not need to be evaluated. Okay, now let's move on to the key considerations for the application process. So here is an overview of the application procedure for NCI. And the first step for companies outside China, the first step is to authorize a domestic responsible person to handle the application. And this is followed by a series of procedural requirements, including NCI testing, application, dossier preparation, and submission. Testing for polymer-based NCI is less than other NCI and can typically be completed within about 2 months. While conducting toxicological tests, the applicant can begin preparing the necessary dossiers at the same time. With this arrangement, the entire application process is relatively fast, only takes around 6 months, which is why a great number of applicants prefer to apply for NCI, for polymer NCI in China. However, completing the procedure does not equal to obtaining an official approval. Public disclosure of the NCI's information does not imply that its safety and efficacy have been recognized. Even after registration and notification, the NCI must undergo a 3-year safety monitoring period. Okay, we will talk the 3-year safety monitoring period later. So now let's move on to part 5, points to note for NCI application in China. Yes, we will talk 3-year safety monitoring period here. According to relevant regulations, the monitoring period begins from the date when the cosmetic product which first used the NCI completes registration or notification, and the duration is 3 years. During this period, the applicant of the NCI must report annually to the NMPA on the usage and the safety of the NCI. The annual report should include the content listed here. And after the three-year safety monitoring period concludes, the technical review institution must provide an opinion to the NMPA on whether the NCI meets safety requirements. If safety issues are identified, the NMPA will revoke the registration or cancel the notification. If no safety issues arise, the NCI will be included in the list of approved cosmetic ingredients by the NMPA. Okay, the last point I'd like to share is the requirements for applicant and responsible person. For applicant located outside China, it is mandatory to authorize a domestic responsible person for NCI application. And for NCI applicant, they should meet these requirements. And currently, regulations do not impose strict qualification requirements for the domestic RP, as long as the entity is a legally independent company located in mainland China. However, it is advisable that the company's business scope at least covers cosmetic sales, wholesale, retail, and import-export permissions. And so for the RP, the following requirements shall be subjected to. And simply put, it is necessary for the domestic RP to help the applicant complete nearly all the application work in China. So if you find the application for a new cosmetic ingredient too complex and want an easy solution, you can consider working with a professional service agent like us. And since 2021, ZMUni Compliance Center has helped dozens of companies complete the notification of various NCI. And the number of NCI notifications that our company assisted with accounts for nearly 10% of the total notification numbers. In 2024 alone, we have already assisted 10 companies with their notifications. And if you have any relevant needs, please feel free to contact me via email or directly message me on LinkedIn. By the way, if you want to know to know the latest news of China's cosmetic industry, including regulatory updates, hot trends, and so on, please follow me on LinkedIn. And so that's all for our presentation today. I hope the information I shared today is valuable for you and your work. Wish you a smooth entry to the Chinese market. Due to the time limitation, if you have any relevant questions, you are welcome to contact us later by email. Thank you all for your attending. Bye-bye and see you next time.